Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for Race 1 of Season 2 of the Dega Pros Little Guys Series, hosted by John Ward. My name is Dawson Wise. You are watching the Hickory Racing Network, and we are here for another 27-lap event as we kick off the second season of this Little Guys Series. It's a huge field. It's 30-plus. We've got a massive field of new drivers ready to go at it for 27 laps of racing tonight. It is going to be a fun one. I cannot wait, and we're getting ready to get it underway here very, very shortly. In the booth with me tonight, it's a special night here on race number 1 of this series, as we've got a couple of drivers in the booth with me. Coming back for his second season tonight is Cody Nagels. Cody, how you doing, and what are you expecting here for Season 2?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, and I think I'm going to look for more of the same that we've seen in Season 1. Again, I kind of elaborated a little bit on it last week. We've got some new teams and some fresh faces. 27 laps, not going to have a lot of time to hang around, so I think it's going to be a very quick, action-packed race.
Well, it certainly will, and we're looking forward to it as well. And the other guy in the booth with me tonight, the third voice you're going to hear on the microphone, making his debut here in the booth tonight, is our defending Little Guys Series champion, and that is Mr. Michael Triscaro. Mike, how you doing, buddy? And what are you expecting to see here as you make your debut up here with us on the microphone?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me tonight, guys. I'm actually looking forward to this. I think Ryan Baste, Dustin Carruthers, two guys to watch for this season. I know Ryan Baste finished runner-up to me in the first Little Guys Series, and I'll tell you what, that guy showed me a lot of respect that night. Not turning me there in the closing laps of that race. So, I look for him to be the favorite in this, but I mean, Austin Green looks like he's in here tonight. It looks like Richard Elliott. We got Nick Warner's even in here. So we got some good guys. I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to take race 1 here tonight.
It is certainly going to be a fun one. We're getting ready to put them on the grid. We got a bunch of guys running qualifying laps. And like I said, it is a big field tonight, and it's bigger than we're used to. About 31 guys, well, maybe 30 even, that are going to be on the grid tonight. A lot of names you know, some names you don't. That's what we're all about here in the Little Guys Series as we get ready to put them on the grid for the first time. Season 2 is underway, and with that said, we'll get to the format in a little bit while we run this 27-lap race, but we're going to start, obviously, with our starting grid as we try to get that up here on the screen for you. There it is, and here we go. Season 2 of the Little Guys Series is underway, and on the pole for the first time, Heath Job in the 760 with a quick time of 55.714. To his outside, there is the Green Ghost, Austin Green, in the 87. He rolls second tonight. Thomas Parker of KSR, he's back for another go at this Little Guys Series, and Michaela Steffes, great qualifying effort for her in the 4th position. Ron Morris Jr. rolls from 5th. Zach Range will roll from 6th. From 7th, it'll be David Sheets. From 8th, it'll be Adam Ford in the 11. Richard Elliott in the 0-2 rolls 9th. And Josh McCullough will round out your top 10.
In 11th, we have Trevor Oswanoff. 12th is Dustin Carruthers. 13th is Nicholas Warner. Mike Davenport is in 14th. Aiden Kirk, 15th. 16th, we have Justin Mills. John Darnell is in 17th. Michael Menchaca is in 18th. Mark Vondell, 19th. And Ryan Baste in 20th.
And going down through the field in 21st. Hey, how about Mike? How about you take the back end of the field here from 20th on back?
All right, we got you, man. And 21st is Joshua Holmes. 22nd is Tim White. 23rd is Cole Fitzpatrick. 24th, Bobby Forbes. 25th, the good old Kenny Stamper. And we got 27th, Brock Westmoreland. Actually, he's 26. Cody's not racing tonight.
I'm done.
27th is Logan York. 28th, Michael Clay. 29th, Danny Barnes. And rounding out your field is William Fox.
It's a great field tonight. It is a big field tonight. And like I said, it's a lot of guys that didn't quite win the title in Season 1. Obviously, weren't able to bring you that race here. With some time commitments, obviously that being on a different night. Hopefully we can get that to you this season. But a new season begins, and you get into that final race in one of several ways. It's kind of a unique format. You can either finish in a top 3 here in the first 5 races of the season, or you can get in on points based on average finish, as well as how many of the races you run in. And that's basically the way you make it in, where we ended up with about, I think, 12 drivers that made the big race last season, several of which got in on top 3s. And then obviously, Michael Triscaro, he's in the booth with us tonight. He won the first season. So, Mike, here before we go green, kind of take us through what it was like to run these races last season, and how intense the competition is in this little guys series, especially based on what we saw in the first season.
I'll tell you what, obviously I do a lot of money racing. I promote my own series, but this was probably the most fun I've had money racing in a long time. It was just all these guys, full throttle 100% of the time. You kind of took some of the bigger teams out of the equation, so the racing was super intense. It seemed like any week anybody can win. Just super exciting, start to finish, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that tonight.
Well, absolutely. And Cody, obviously we were able to watch from the booth up top last season, and we talked about just how great of racing these guys put on. Do you think these guys can match that here in season 2?
Well, absolutely they can, as they continue to put more races under their belt and also build up chemistry as a overall league. You're gonna see they're gonna learn the movements and just the overall tendencies that the drivers around them are doing, and you're gonna see everyone react accordingly. So as we go green here, I'm gonna put you both on the spot. Who do you guys think is the pick to win tonight?
I'll let Mike go first before I give my pick.
You know what? I'm going to go with Ryan Based. I talked about him earlier. He finished runner-up to me in the round 1 of this series, and I just think he's the guy to beat. He is incredible, super respectful, and you're going to see a lot of him up front all night long.
Personally, myself, I'm going to go with the guy starting 6th tonight, Zach Range. We saw him win a race last season. I think he's going to be geared up for a great run here in Season 2. We'll see if he can get a good start here tonight. Keith Job leads him into the restart zone. We are green flag for the first time. Season 2 of the Little Guys series is underway from Talladega, and off we go towards turn number 1. Heath Job flanked to his outside by Austin Green in the 87. Good to see Austin out here. What can he do? He told me before this race he was going to make some noise in the Little Guys series. Coming off turn 2, he's looking to go right to the lead and make good on that promise here pretty early on.
And if I'm going to add my personal prediction, I'm going to have to piggyback a little bit. I don't even consider Austin Green much of a little guy. I know that he's not able to run a lot because of his broadcasting responsibilities, but I think he's going to be the one to beat in this race.
Yeah, Austin Green, look at that in that Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University truck. He was amped before this race to show it to me, and he put that thing right out front real quick here at Talladega.
Oh, no surprise, he's running out front. Michaela Steff's going to take her turn in the lead. Third line starting to work, though. Here comes Josh McCullough and Trevor Oswanoth. We saw them work together a lot in Season 1. They do so again here early in Season 2. I'm looking a little further back. Aiden Kirk starting to make his way to the front. He made some noise in the PGR race this past Thursday in the 47. He's a guy certainly to watch as well. But like you were talking about, Austin, in that Embry-Riddle paint scheme, actually going to be participating in the college series tomorrow night from Charlotte Motor Speedway. So a lot of big races coming up for Austin, but he is hitting his stride at the right time here as he runs the Little Guys in preparation for that race tomorrow. Third line working in a big way up against the outside wall. McCullough is leading it. Oswanoth, David Sheets, Dustin Carruthers. Now one more truck up there with him. I can't quite tell who that is. Back a little bit further. Looks like one of the old OSM trucks up there.
And I do want to point out, it almost seems like the trucks have changed a little bit. I don't know if it's just me, but several guys were talking about it earlier in the race I ran right before this. The speeds we were hitting 192, 193 leading into a corner. So just look for the speeds that these guys are running. It might make it even tougher to push, man. The bottom line looks stronger than it normally does. Normally it's the top that rolls. But I don't know, man. Last couple races, I don't know if iRacing has changed the default set or how these trucks handle a push. But personally, I've been seeing with fresh temps, that bottom has been tough.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that, Mike. Go ahead, please.
Oh, you're good. I agree with you, Cody. I noticed a big difference on Thursday night in PGR. I know Steve Korosek mentioned it too. The trucks were just flat out fast, and it was just crazy racing all night long. The bottom lane, middle lane, were just super fast, and it was very hard if you were in that third lane to get to the front there, clear down. But hopefully, we could see some more of that third line come in tonight and, have a great finish.
Well, it's already working. Josh McCullough already got down in front of Zach Range. He leads the race now in the middle, but Trevor Osmernoth, he's got something to say about that up top, and he's bringing some of his teammates with him. KSR flexing muscle early on. We saw him do it in Season 1 quite a bit. They're doing so again tonight. The familiar 89 truck up on the outside line, but now, like you said, Cody, the middle and the bottom really surged the middle of 3 and 4. I actually noticed it in the OP Racing race I called earlier tonight as well, our league race that I got to call. It looked like the same to me, the bottom and middle. It just looked more dominant than we've seen them here over the past couple of months.
Absolutely. I'm keeping an eye on David Sheets.
Oh, Charles, sorry to cut you off, Cody.
They are wrecking.
Yep, they are wrecking. It's Austin Green, Michaela Steffes, Zach Range, and others around here in turns 1 and 2. And we're going to put an early halt to this one, and look to me like maybe just to stack up on those dominant bottom and middle lines. We'll get a quick look at it here as we are under yellow for the first time on lap number 5. We see as we go to the replay, Range already around. Get a little bit better look. Is this more of a quick clear from Zach Range? Is it more of a bad push from Aiden Kirk? We're going to try to get a decent look here into turn number 1. Zach Range.
Yeah,
Aiden
it almost
Kirk,
looked like.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
It almost looked like Zach Range was coming down. He was getting pushed by the 47 to Kirk there, but it looks like he thought he was clear of Josh McCullough, but no room there to race. Josh was getting pulled by Michaela Steffes and nowhere to go there. So that's why we had our first wreck here tonight.
Yep, and there you see it right in the middle of your screen. Range comes down, not quite clear off Josh McCullough. Thought maybe we were going to get it straightened out from there. Then obviously Michaela Steffes gets around on that weird transition between the flat and the banking. Some more trucks involved a little further up. Looks like the 0-2 of Richard Elliott and a couple of other trucks as well. Several of the Hyper Motorsports trucks involved in this one. Kenny Stamper, John Darnell also involved in this one. As that's Adam Ford in the 11 there in the middle of your screen. We're actually wrecking further back as well. Cole Fitzpatrick, Mark Bondell. There you see Austin Green. And the 239 of Tim White, a new paint for him this season in the Little Guys Series. But that's what brings out our first caution of the night on lap number 5. Cody, is that kind of what you saw there? Maybe just a little bit of a quick clear out of the 043? Cody, did we may have lost Cody briefly here.
Oh,
there he is.
My mic is on mute. I apologize.
No worries at all. No worries at all.
We love it. All good.
I want to know what you saw there.
Complete radio silence. No, on the entry of the corner, it looked like Zach Range was clear, but it's one of those things your spotter says clear. Entry of the corner, he goes to take it. If the move is not that, I've told you numerous times, the quick flick of the wrist. If you're going to take it on an entry, you've got to be quick and swift. Really, a lot of the time, though, I don't like clearing on an entry because the bottom lane with the little bit of momentum on entry, and it is the shortest way around the track, sometimes you hear clear. When you go to take it, all of a sudden, you're not clear anymore.
Oh, absolutely. That happened to me last night, actually, in a league race. Heard clear, was not clear, and it led to basically the same result we just saw in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and that's what puts us under the yellow flag here on lap number 7. It was a great, frantic start to this race. A lot of guys trying to fight for position here early on. We've got a big audience here late night on the East Coast, and we got over 20 people watching right now. This is a great crowd. Glad everybody is here. Good to see everybody. We're going to go through some of these really quick rapid fire here while we're under a caution flag. Robert Miller, good to see it. He's rooting for McCullough Motorsports. Glad to see you out here. We got some Cole Fitzpatrick fans in the chat. He's a pretty popular guy. He brings some fans to these Little Guys races. Devin Ray, good to see you, brother. Hope you are doing well as well. And we're going to try to make it a great broadcast for you up here. These guys certainly help us a little bit as well. And my buddy KR is off in the chat. You heard from him several weeks ago in one of these Little Guys races. He got to call it with myself and Cody, and that was a really fun time. KR, good to see you, even though I just talked to you 30 minutes ago. Good to see you either way. And Cody, he's disparaging you a little bit. I don't want to be that guy, but he's certainly not your biggest fan.
Man, I'm looking in the chat right now, and he's giving me a little bit of a tough time. I don't know. Maybe I'll just need to get replaced so I can go across the street and get me a little bit of the drinky drink because I've been complaining about being thirsty. Maybe we need to toss KR back up in the booth one of these races.
Well, it certainly was a fun time, but obviously glad to see it. KR, as always, I know he's just messing around with us a little bit. under the caution here, lap 7. We're going to go green on lap number 9. It's a frantic start. Mike, I got to imagine it's a little bit easier to be on this side of it than it is to be down there on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's a lot easier, man. I've been sweating in these things for the past month when we were doing them. But it's awesome view up here. No worries here tonight. Gonna keep an eye on Aiden Kirk. He's winning. He's leading this race right now. And if I'm not mistaken, he finished third the other night in PGR. Had a great run, at least the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. And he probably learned a little bit too on that last lap the other night because he did pull out of line. Probably should have kept pushing. But Aiden Kirk, he's up top tier tonight, and you could see him in victory lane maybe tonight.
Well, he's trending in the right direction, and Cody and I have seen that over the past several weeks. You can tell he's growing. You can tell he's learning, and he has quickly become a pretty big force to be reckoned with. Found himself in the mix for the win. Had a look at it late in PGR, and I mean, Cody, you've gotten to run against him now as of last week on last Thursday, and what kind of speak to the growth a little bit of Aiden Kirk as we see him kind of rise to prominence here.
Well, first of all, Aiden Kirk is a fantastic pusher. Last week when I was helping you call this race, and I'm watching Aiden up in the third, and I believe it was with Zach Range actually, both of those trucks they're pinching tight to the middle, which is a key if you're going to get the top to roll and advance the track position that you're seeking. You got to be able to not only push square, but you've got to run low. If you're not getting a side draft from the middle lane, then you're not going to advance your position. The middle lane, they're going to be able to cool because they're pushing, they're doing everything right, but all the while they're able to keep the trucks cool. If you pinch them correctly, not only are you keeping your momentum up, you're getting their pusher hot. Just little things I've been seeing from Aiden Kirk do, and do at a very, very high level. And right now, Aiden, not quite as well known as some of the other drivers out here, but definitely a name that you're going to want to keep an eye out for, not only in the Little Guys series, but in the other money racing that we do throughout the week. Aiden Kirk is definitely on the rise.
I'll tell you who he reminds me of as we get ready to go back green here on lap number 9. He reminds me of the guy actually starting to his right elbow here, Trevor Osranath. He kind of reminds me a little bit of the driver of the 89. Started to rise to prominence. You could see him getting better, and then Trevor obviously got a big win several weeks back in PGR. Kind of propelled him into what he is now, running with KSR, and they are certainly one of the teams to beat on Monday nights now. But that's kind of where I'm getting a little bit of a reminder out of the 47 is, ironically enough, those two are leading the race. Here we go off turn number 2. Everybody 2 wide, looking for a dance partner.
And it looks like that middle line starting to surge just a little bit, but there we go. We see Trevor Osranath drop to the bottom. The 47, let's see if the 47 wants to try to use the momentum and jump back up in front. I'm going to pass it off over to you, Mike T.
Yeah, I got Dustin Crothers, man. He's third in line here on the top. I did get to talk to him earlier today. He's a 32-year-old from Marmot, West Virginia. Told me he got into NASCAR watching Dale Sr. race with his Uncle Teddy. Also got to watch Dale Jr. with his stepdad, so that was kind of cool. But I did ask him about iRacing and what he loves the most about it, and it was pretty much what we kind of enjoy. Just, you meet real guys on here. They become kind of your friend. He told me he looks up to the big teams like MBG, even you, Cody, he mentioned, and Kenny McCullough, and he kind of wants to model his driving after you guys. And I'll tell you right now, Dustin Crothers is on the move because he is second in the middle, and he's looking for more.
Oh, absolutely. Dustin, certainly one of the guys to watch. He was one of the guys to watch last season, actually rattled off 2 or 3 back-to-back wins. So certainly one of the guys to beat here this season, and one of the better guys. He's another guy that he's sneaky good. It's not even sneaky good. Oh, boy, trouble. Aiden Kirk is around on the bumper of Trevor Osranath. He locks it down. He's going to keep it off the wall, but unfortunately, as he comes to a stop, it's not going to bring out a caution. It's going to be still green, and this is going to lose him a lot of time as he's down against the inside wall.
And one driver that I would like to spotlight as well, and I didn't write down a whole lot of notes and be very formal about it like Mike T, but one driver I do want to point out is Cole Fitzpatrick. It's a name you've probably heard a time or two. I know he has fans out there on YouTube. I believe I met Cole actually through my streaming on Twitch, actually, and he has been pinging me fairly consistently since then. He's a driver that is a sponge. He's wanting to soak in everything from the bigger teams and the more established drivers, and he's got goals one day. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there and push it over to you,
We're going to
Dawson.
have to get it up front. We got a wreck coming up front. Trying to figure out who exactly this one involves. It's behind the race leaders.
I know Kenny Stamper was in that, so we'll have to go back and peek at that.
That's a tough break for Kenny. And, yep, there he is, the 30 on pit road. And it's going to be the second incident of the night for him, if that is the case. We'll try to get a decent look. Here's Kenny. Right behind. Looks like he's going to be right behind the incident. Perhaps starting with the 11 right in front of him of Adam Ford. Let's try to get a decent look at what goes on here in the trial. Is trying to get a decent look. Here we go. There's a pretty good camera angle. Running right in front of Logan York, right behind his teammate Danny Barnes. Oh, the line stacks up.
Yeah, it looks like a big checkup.
Yep, I think you're right.
There.
Adam Ford slides. There goes Kenny. And I think he's going to get the brunt of this. Oh, man, hard into the outside wall for the 30. Almost up and on his right side. And also involved is the 77 of Josh Holmes. They're going to slide back down. Bobby Forbes coming along pretty quick. He's going to get past it as Kenny slides off the racetrack. So really, all of that for about 2 cars to be involved. And that is the break that Aiden Kirk needed on that caution right there, as he's going to be able to stay on the lead lap and get right back into this one.
Yeah, it is, Dawson. And I'll tell you what, for the viewers out there, when you're in these trucks and you're pushing like you're pushing, especially in that tri-oval, it is very hard to see through to the next truck. So, I mean, these guys are inches, if not touching, almost all the way around this track now at times, and you can't see anything. So these checkups are so hard to navigate. I mean, there's just nowhere to go. Logan York tried to pull up to the third, and it didn't matter at that point. Kenny was getting shoved, and it just turned him. And like I said, there's just nothing you can do in that position.
And I also think the stack-ups are a byproduct of how hard these drivers are pushing in the trucks. What I've been seeing a lot of lately, you can push the pusher 4, 5, 6 trucks back. We were seeing it in the OP Premier Series tonight. We've been seeing it in this race, and I think that actually is why the stack-up occurred. Everyone's pushing for everything they're worth. I mean, we're seeing them push 194 down the backstretch. One little checkup, it accordions, 6 trucks back, and next thing you know, it's a massive pile-up.
Absolutely, and certainly not a huge wreck right there. Luckily, it happened at the back of the field, but obviously Kenny Stamper, Josh Holmes getting the brunt end of that one. And for Kenny, that's just bad night gone worse here in the first night of the Little Guys Series. That's the second wreck he was in. He is still sitting on pit road. He has already gone 1 lap down, may go 2 laps down, as I believe the engine expired on the 30 after he hit the outside wall. But let's see if he can get back on track, try to recover a little bit. We're already almost halfway home, and man, what a heck of a race it already is. These guys do not disappoint, and tonight it seems like they've even upped the ante a little bit more. The intensity is higher. You can tell these guys know each other better, and that the drive to win is just so much higher already tonight, and we're only in race 1.
Well, absolutely. And what will it do for any of the drivers for that matter? What will it do to get a win and lock yourself into the big race at the end of the season? It's never too early to start thinking about that. And I think the drivers up front, that is exactly what you're seeing, because you're seeing just the little off-center pushes. It's just everyone's pushing really, really hard right now, because they know that if the pushes aren't up to snuff, they're going to lose that track position, and next thing you know, they're going to be mid-pack, and they're going to be the ones involved in the wrecks. So really and truly, everyone right now is pushing and racing for everything that they have to try to keep the valuable track position.
Yeah, I like to see here Danny Barnes, the number 7. He's in the 8th place right now. I did get the chance to talk to him earlier. He's a dirt racer at heart. Grew up racing pro stocks. He kind of had to give it up when he had kids, and he used his iRacing as that itch when he was growing up, like I said. And it's always fun to be able to do this on a Monday night, Thursday night. I know for me, just like Danny, just having that itch to race, and it's good to see him up front here in the top 10. He had nothing but good things to say about the series owner, John Ward. John's a great guy too, man. Shout out to John. He promotes this service probably better than any of us promoters, especially the money racing. But even bigger than that, John works with the young kids, the up and comers, gets them involved. And because of him, we have so many new drivers to the money scene, and it's only growing. And a big testament is the John Ward.
Well, absolutely. The man that hosts this series, and then obviously we've gotten to talk to him a couple times over the course of the last several weeks in just money racing overall. He's a very good money racer as well, certainly a guy with multiple accomplishments to his name, so he's given a spotlight to these guys, and they have shown up in droves. I mean, let's just talk about really quickly before we go green how impressive it is that we had 30 guys show up at 11 o'clock on a Monday night to show up and just race for, an hour, but have a chance at getting the spotlight here on a Monday night. That is, to me, really, really awesome to see.
Yeah, and I think it's also just here quickly, and then I'll send it back over to you. But it's just a testament, like you said, to John Ward and his dedication to not only iRacing, but to all of the drivers, whether you're established or the up-and-coming drivers. I mean, he really runs a really tight ship, and it shows.
Well, absolutely, and we're getting ready to go back green. We're about halfway home. It's going to be lap 15 on the board. It means 13 laps to go. These races go by awfully quick, and it's a KSR lockout on the front row. Trevor Osmanoff, his teammate to his outside in Dustin Carruthers. And here we go. Green flag once again at Talladega. We fly off towards turn one car off. Richard Elliott got off. It looks like he's going to get back going. No caution for now, at least as we run. 13 laps to go. Field starting to get up to speed in turns 1 and 2.
Okay, you got that 3-car, Nicholas Warner. He is in the picture now. He's the third in line here on the top. Doesn't do too much money racing, mostly officials. But I'll tell you what, that red and white truck is rolling, and he's got to be hungry. So look for him to make some noise here late.
Well, I mean, it certainly takes commitment to run in these money races. I know I had that hunger when I started the first couple times, wanted to make a statement, wanted to prove a point, and tried to do that every time I got on the racetrack. Nick Warner is doing a good job so far. He's just inside the top 5 for the first time tonight. Is that 3 truck? And you're right, he's rolling the middle right now, helping push along Dustin Carruthers. Brock Westmoreland's in the picture as well, as Carruthers drops across the bottom. Looks like Ron Morris is also in the picture, 4th on the bottom line.
Brock Westmoreland doing a fantastic job pushing and really just building up the momentum in the middle line. And now you see, he's reaping the benefits, leading. And let's see maybe if he can build up a little bit of momentum and drop down to the bottom himself in front of Dustin Carruthers.
Well, the guy I'm watching, certainly other than Nick Warner, I think the guy I picked was Zach Range. He's starting to make his way back through the field. He's about 7 rows back on the bottom. But some other guys that have yet to make noise tonight that I think are going to be at the front. One of them being Mike's pick, Ryan Baste. He's just outside the top 10, trying to make his way to the front. Another guy is Mike Davenport, the 55. Good to see him out here for another season of Little Guys Racing. He's already 3 wide, trying to make it happen. Up on the outside, Dustin Carruthers, though, doing an excellent job of managing, and that's certainly helped by the fact that he's got his teammate running down there on the bottom line in the form of Trevor Osbornoff.
And I think the KSR drivers are showing that, they might not have the numbers that they had to start this race, but Dustin Carruthers and Trevor Osbornoff as a duo in this race, putting together a very strong showing.
Yeah, and Ryan Bass is trying to get to them. I know that he's working with those guys tonight. So if he can get up there, watch out, man. It could be 1, 2, 3 finish for those guys.
Oh,
and
boy.
Ryan Bass.
Go ahead. No, feel free. No, you were already started. Go right ahead.
Well, Ryan Bass was proving last season in numerous races. He's another driver just to look out for, man. He is a solid pusher. I did not know if he was working together with KSR, and if that's the case, they are going to be a problem.
Now, I was going to call out Nick Warner in the 3. He took that truck out to the outside line for the first time tonight. He's starting to get more comfortable. You can see him starting to settle in a little bit more, kind of get the nerves out, kind of be like, all right, I'm good now. I can go race with these guys. I can go be side by side. I can go lead a line 3 wide. And he's doing just that, trying to get that third line rolling. He's got the Hyper Motorsports teammates behind him in Danny Barnes and Adam Ford. Michael Clay trying to round up that third line as well. Westmoreland Carruthers continue to lead up front. And Logan York has made his way into the picture as well. All of a sudden, the 0-1 is inside the top 3. pretty late in the going, inside 10 laps to go.
Yeah,
And
Logan York, he's been. Oh, we got issues, guys.
Yes, we do. Trouble. Danny Barnes, Nick Warner, and others are around in the tri-oval. They're still wrecking down here towards turn number 1. Adam Ford. Looks like Tim White. Several other trucks involved. As Thomas Parker, so you got in the center of your screen. Looks like Josh McCullough might be involved in it as well. And we're going to go take a look really quick at what happened. You saw it happen right in the middle of your screen. So we got through the tri-oval right after we talked about Nick Warner. He's involved in this one in a pretty big way. We're going to get a look and see what happened here in the middle of the tri-oval. Looks like either maybe a bad pinch or some potentially right rear netcode here for the first time in the Little Guy Series inside 10 laps to go.
I'm going to give you a second here real quick just to go back and check that replay, but I don't know, man. It just looks like Danny Barnes come down the hill just a little bit. Don't know if it was netcode or not, but it did look like it was going to be inevitable contact.
Yeah, it looks like netcode there on the 51. Barnes was coming down the track, but unfortunately, I think there was definitely a little netcode there if you ride with the 47 of Aiden Kirk there. Unfortunate scenario there for Danny Barnes and Parker, but hopefully these guys can get some fast repairs and right back out on the track.
Aiden Kirk, an innocent bystander. Not much he could do. Not a ton of damage on his truck. Maybe able to fix that off. Mike Davenport gets a piece of it. Tim White, oh man, right there at the top of your screen, he gets hit by Mark Vondell. Michael Clay, also an innocent bystander. And we will go ahead and try to get back here and take a ride with Aiden Kirk and see what he saw. He was right behind this incident pretty much, so we'll see if we can get a decent look at it here as he tried to make his way through this incident. I'll try to get on board with him. Here we go from the 47 of Aiden Kirk. And there you go. He gets hooked in. And I think you're right. Some net code, but we've struggled with this the past couple of months now where if you get close enough, you know, maybe you're going to hit anyway, but you don't even have a chance to try to get off the guy's door before he's hooking sideways and the system thinks you're already together. Obviously, those guys weren't, but it comes back to bite them right there in the tri-oval.
And pinching seems to be fine as well if you're just going to their door, but it really becomes an issue when you do get to the right rear quarter panel, and that's usually where the netcode takes over. It's the problem child in the trucks, the B car, the next gen. I think we've seen it pretty much iRacing wide right now on super speedways. This is just that right rear is like an out of bounds. I don't think you want to get anywhere near the right rear right now with the netcode as bad as it is.
Well, and it was also a problem on Thursday night as well. Just kind of becomes an issue when you're running 3 wide, when you're running 4 wide like we saw on Thursday night. As the closer you get, obviously the easier it is to have that kind of issue, and it's been a struggle that these guys have had to deal with. Obviously, it changes the way you race a little for some guys, not for others. Mainly looking at myself with that one, but regardless, these guys, you know, they have to. We all have to relearn basically where that net code is and how to adjust to it, and it's still a learning process. And obviously tonight, right there, you saw what can happen when a wreck gets triggered by that net code. So we're inside of 10 laps to go. We're actually going to get restarted with about 6 laps to go. And as we look back through the field, seems like we got some guys coming forward that have not really made much noise tonight that are looking to get inside the top 10. Get a look at this one. I'm looking at Michael Menchaca. How about him? He's running 8th right now in the 32. I'm looking at David Sheets in 6th. Obviously, Ryan Bass, we talked about him a little bit. He's very well in the mix here towards the end of this one. John Darnell is on the outside looking in. He's not far back here. So a lot of guys going to have a shot right here as we go 1 to go to get back in this one and lock their way into that big race at the end of the season.
And now that we have Discord admin, I want to bring up one thing maybe that we do here that we haven't done. Now entering the 2nd season, do you think we have enough time for a quick interview?
Ooh, we could try. Who do you have in mind? And I'll let you handle it too since you brought up the idea.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and pull Ryan Bass if that is fine with you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Let's get a word with the driver of the 73, Mr. Ryan Bass. Cody, you've got it. You've caught up with him. Let's get a quick word before they go back green.
Ryan Bass, this is the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm just going to keep you for a quick minute here right before we go green. Several of you KSR guys are running up front and running well. What is it going to take for you to potentially win the race? And if not, what is it going to take for you to be able to push one of your teammates into victory lane?
Yeah, right now, both of them are on the top lane here, and I'm stuck in 5th on the bottom. I'm just hoping that I don't get caught and just shuffled back here. The goal is to try to get up behind them, maybe even the 3rd lane to try to get to the front, but we'll see how it pans out here off the start.
Well, I do appreciate you taking the time to give us a word. Good luck, and hopefully we will see a KSR driver in victory lane here shortly.
Sounds good, guys. See you in a few.
A little bit of a step forward here on Monday night. It's good to get a little insight there from Ryan Based. Obviously, as we go, we'll get some more of those little tidbits from drivers, hopefully under cautions, especially late in races as races unfold. Hopefully we can get words from guys now that we have a little bit more capabilities here on a Monday night. But good to get a quick word from Ryan Based. You heard him say his teammates are up top. He's on the bottom. So his goal right here is going to be to get up, try to get behind his teammates, try to help them any way he can, and obviously maybe take a look at it for himself. But here we go. It's going to be 6 laps to go, I believe. Lap 22 will be on the board. It will. On the front row, Brock Westmoreland. He's run a great race. He wants to finish it off. So does Dustin Carruthers to his outside, though. And here we go. 6 laps to go from Talladega Super Speedway. The green flag is back in the air once again. And we race off towards turn number 1. Drag race. Westmoreland versus Carruthers. Westmoreland gets cleared. Does he take it? Maybe York takes it off into turn number 1.
And as we enter turn number 1, Ryan Based right up on Logan York. And you know, he just said he's got 2 teammates right now leading the middle. You know, he is chomping at the bit to see if he can get up in front of them.
Yeah, it looks like he might have an opening. It's going to be close. Ron Morris might fill that gap.
Oh, I don't know. The Ron Morris machine's not quite the KSR trucks yet. Based, you saw him back up. He tried. Unfortunately, not much to do. Now he may have a gap at it. Now that they're 3 wide, does he see it? Ryan Based trying to get up to the middle. Not going to happen. Michael Menchaca fills the hole. And Based going to be stuck on the bottom for the time being. Top side, it's the McCullough Motorsports trucks. Ron Morris, as well as his teammate David Sheets. And now they're lined up 1, 2, 3. McCullough Motorsports making a strong push here as we have 5 laps to go from Talladega.
Yep, Richard Elliott filling in right behind them, man. This is going to be a heck of a finish. I am super excited to watch this one go down to the wire.
Oh, Carruthers, Osbornoff down on the door. Brock Westmoreland, the 3rd line, fades in a hurry. McCullough had to get back in line. They had 3 trucks lined up. Westmoreland gets turned right in front of the field. Carruthers is around. Ryan Based is around. No caution yet, still green. We're 4 and 5 wide trying to get it sorted out. Off into turn number 3.
Oh my God, Brock Westmoreland, what a save. He got back in line. He still has a shot at this thing.
I was going to say he made a save. Unfortunately, Ryan Based did not. He's out of this one for now. You saw it happen in the middle of your screen. Just a tough break with the way that push came forward, but we stay green nonetheless. I don't know how we keep it green, but we do. And now all of a sudden, Michael Menchaca leads the field at Talladega. An underdog of all underdogs here at the front of the field with 4 laps to go, but don't look now. Here comes Osbornoff. Here comes Range up top shelf. 3 wide, 4 rows deep.
And you can't count out the McCullough Motorsports drivers right now. They're running in the middle. They're 2nd and 3rd in the middle. You know, if they can get clear of that top, I have to think that they're going to go up and hang out Trevor Osbornoff. This is going to get interesting. Seems like when we get to the end of the race, who's up there? McCullough Motorsports.
Oh, McCullough gets pushed down the track. Menchaca got into him. Now we're going to wreck trouble. Thomas Parker is into the outside wall. We're wrecking more. Nick Warner's around in the 3. And the caution flag is out. Justin Mills up on his left side. And several other trucks getting involved. And we're under caution here late in the going at Talladega.
Intense racing there, guys. I gotta go back and catch my breath just from watching that. That was intense. Kind of glad I'm up here in the booth tonight. These guys are driving hard.
I was just going to say the same thing. I'm going to take a quick breath as well. I had to right there because so much just happened in the span of about half a lap. But here is what brought out the caution. There was contact further up between Michael Menchaca and Josh McCullough, and that's where I thought we were probably going to wreck him up the first time. We get through that. And then beyond that, looks like Thomas Parker's the one that gets unlucky right here. in turns 3 and 4. I'm trying to get a decent angle. There's the contact between McCullough and Menchaca. Sheets up the racetrack. McCullough, I don't know how he kept it going straight. Menchaca keeps it going straight. Zach Range, I think, is going to be an innocent bystander right here as we were 4 wide, trying to get him back on the racetrack. Ron Morris coming up, trying to let Menchaca back on the racetrack. There's contact. And around goes Thomas Parker.
Yeah, right into Zach Range there. Unfortunate incident right there. Collected Richard Elliott. Whole slew of other trucks. Man, what a wreck.
Nick Warner involved. Justin Mills, he bounced off the outside wall hard right here. Actually goes all the way over for a moment. Comes back over on his wheels. And Aiden Kirk, I think, had the best look at this. I definitely want to get a ride on board with him, but this takes out a number of front-running trucks. But we're gonna see if we can't get a look from Aiden Kirk, because I think he might have had the best look at this one, and I mean missed it by probably 6 inches at most, I think. We'll get a ride on board real quick with the 47. Here he is, riding behind Cole Fitzpatrick. This is the hardest part about it, I think, is look how little he can see riding right behind the 25. All of a sudden they start to wreck. He still really can't see it. Now he's able to see it. Oh, boy, the seas part for Aiden Kirk.
Yeah, that's just great driver awareness. We talk about wreck avoidance all the time, and Aiden Kirk, that was textbook. Just knew right once he got through that, he went right to the wall on the high side. And, you know, I've been learning that myself, man. When you just have to know kind of where to go. A lot of it is luck, but there's definitely some skill to this, and wreck avoidance is key to staying on track, staying in front, and try to win one of these races. And that was textbook by Aiden Kirk.
He did everything right to miss the crash, and he now finds himself in a pretty decent spot for what could be our final restart. We are going to use a green-white checkered attempt. We got some problems further back, some kind of stack up here on the backstretch as guys come off pit road, but we re-rack them once again. The front of the field looks a little bit different than it did before. All of a sudden, KSR not as much of a presence at the front. Obviously, Osborne continues to lead, but Carruthers got involved in that incident that we saw that did not bring out a yellow about a lap before our caution came out. Same with McCullough Motorsports has drivers 2, 3, 5. I think they've suddenly become the team to beat here up front.
Well, if you look at how they're going to restart, Josh McCullough looks like he is going to be leading that top lane. You're going to have David Sheets be the pusher, pushing Trevor Osbornoff on the bottom with Ron Morris Jr. behind him. So I'm thinking the play, if you're McCullough Motorsports right here, is push well. If Ron can stay close to David Sheets, there is an outside chance that both Sheets and Morris could clear up in front of McCullough. And I have to think, if you get 3 McCullough Motorsports drivers lined up, this may be a wrap.
I would tend to agree. That's a strong team. They've got a lot of support here tonight as well out there in the audience. I know I did not get a chance to call it out because we had such intense racing, but Kenny is in the chat. Kenny, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. And, okay, this might be the most surprising choice of the night, Cody and Mike. Trevor Osbornoff selected the top and lined up McCullough Motorsports 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. I don't know how smart a decision this is by the driver of the 89.
Yeah, we'll give that one to Cody. Cody is the master of team racing, and he'll be able to definitely walk our viewers through kind of the ins and outs and knowledge about, you know, how to stay up front. So take it over, Cody.
Well, I'm thinking right here you've got really I would have definitely, if I had the choice, I would have separated at least a couple of the McCullough drivers. But nonetheless, you have 3 McCullough drivers on the bottom. I have to think Josh McCullough, if he can get clear up to the middle, I have to think he's going to try to control the middle. You're going to have 2 teammates in David Sheets and Ron Morris leading the bottom. They're controlling both lanes. At least that is until the 3rd lane could get going. If it is me, I'm looking to use 3 drivers to control 2 lanes. That's the way I would do it. Any objections to that? I feel like that's the play if you're a McCullough Motorsports driver right now. Look for Josh to move up.
I don't think I have any objections to it. Certainly, it's the way to go. If you can have 2 guys control the bottom, you have the 3rd guy control the middle line. And funny you say that, because we've seen your team do that so many times, and it leads to success. So, I mean, who am I to argue with a guy on a team that's able to pull off that kind of move? Certainly McCullough Motorsports more than capable of doing the same. And so green-white checkered attempt number 1 coming up. And all of a sudden, the most pressure here I think, is on Michael Menchaca. Menchaca's restart's going to determine a lot here as to whether or not Josh can get up in front of Trevor, and also how much Trevor can do to dictate the flow of this race. And we'll see what he can do right here. This is the biggest moment of the race. 2 laps to go here from Talladega. If we get the white flag, the race is official. And here we go into the tri-oval, but potentially the final time. Take a breath. You might not get another one. Green flag from Talladega. Green, white, checkered, number 1. And off we go towards turn number 1. And I'll tell you what, those McCullough boys on the bottom, they are lined up. They are rolling forward. And it's going to easily get Josh McCullough clear. They may get 2 of them clear.
Well, this was the same position I was in the first race of the last series. Josh McCullough was in second on the bottom, pushing me. Unfortunately, I did not get the win. I finished second, so we'll see if this bottom lane can get the job done here tonight.
Couple of them lean out of line. Oh, no, go ahead, Cody.
Well, as they're going 3 wide here, I think Trevor Osbornoff's damage, it doesn't look like he has a panel on that left front bumper of the number 89. That bottom lane is going to roll. McCullough Motorsports has all 3 lanes if they want it.
Yeah, but the top line's starting to roll a little bit. Oh, Westmoreland has contact from Kirk. They're 4 wide now.
4 wide.
Yeah, 4 wide in the tri-oval as Kirk goes a lane higher. He's got Heat Job. Do we make it to the white? We do. Here comes Trevor Osbornoff. He looks to get another run. Austin Green is suddenly back in the picture in the 87. Here comes Aiden Kirk up the outside. Can they do anything to break up this McCullough train? All of a sudden, Menchaca and Michael Clay have surged the 89 forward. Trouble further back. Around goes Darnell. Down the backstretch. Here comes the 89.
It is mildly surprising to me that none of the McCullough drivers wanted to go up, but again, they know what we know. No left front panel on Trevor Osbornoff. So who knows that they look like they're content right here to take the checkered flag, lined up 3 on the bottom. Can they bring it home?
Oh, I don't
drag
know,
race
Trevor.
Drag race.
You're right. It's going to be a drag race. Who's got the better push? Osbornoff's going to have to pinch all the way home through the trial for the final time. All the way to the line. They wreck. McCullough gets turned at the line. David Sheets wins at Talladega.
What a win for David Sheets. Huge win.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
They crash him up in the tri-oval as Trevor Osbornoff tried to side draft. Looked like it was going to be a drag race between the 89 and the 05.
Unbelievable.
Instead, the 06 of David Sheets, he's going to go ahead and burn it down on the apron. He was involved in the wreck. He actually got turned at the start-finish line as well. Holy cow.
How that?
How else would you want to end race 1 of this series?
I mean, what better way to start race 1 of this series?
We got a lot
guys.
to go
that
over.
Was incredible.
I was going to say, we got a lot to unpack here on the last lap. They were 4 wide. They're still 4 wide further back there around Richard Elliott. He's going to get turned.
There was
go ahead,
there was
please.
2 turns. Yeah, there was 2 turns on them, and you had a turn in the front. You had a turn at Logan York on Michael Clay. I mean, unbelievable last lap, and congratulations to the 06 of David Sheets there. Ron Morris and as runner-up. I mean, what better way to start this series than those 2 guys, 1 and 2 tonight.
You see contact there between Bobby Forbes and John Darnell, and a bad push to Richard Elliott. They collect Ryan Baste, Darnell, Von Dell, all involved. This is all happening behind the race for the win. You saw it happen. Cole Fitzpatrick gets turned. Oh, Nick Warner tried to get past it, not quite. He may actually save this truck. I think he kept it going straight. He does. They wreck further up Fitzpatrick, and then we got to get all the way up to the front because as these guys come off of turn number 4, they're still wrecking behind these guys. And, I mean, I'm just going to let the finish speak for itself because I don't even know the right words to use. I thought this was a drag race. I mean, props to Michael Menchaca, first of all. He pushed Osbornoff all the way back into this race, gave him a shot, and was going to push him all the way to the end. I think he was going to be content. And then as we got into the tri-oval, I think you're going to see some right rear net code. Oh, actually, no. I thought we were going to see some contact between Ron Morris and Josh McCullough. I'll tell you what, I think we did. I think Ron Morris may have gotten a piece of the 89. They go sideways. Michael Clay goes sideways further back. I didn't even see that. And then here's the race to the line. And that is the margin of victory for David Sheets as they wreck behind him. What
Yeah, I
an
think that was a
unbelievable win.
little net code there. Menchaca was pushing Trevin, and it looked like Trevin's car just came just down into Josh McCullough there, but a little bit of net code there, and that's kind of why we had that little situation there. Good fortune there for David Sheets and Ron Morris, but unfortunate for Josh McCullough there. Just a tough break there heading to the finish line.
And how about Ron Morris having enough wherewithal in amongst all of the wrecking to make sure that he still pushed his teammate David Sheets to the start-finish line to help him secure the victory. And I'm going to tell you guys, David Sheets is one of the most dedicated drivers out here. This may not be his only win of the season, guys. I'm telling you. McCullough Motorsports put on a show in the race, especially on the back half of the race. They worked together well. David Sheets, though, man, I'm going to go back to David Sheets for a second. What a fantastic win for him. And just moving forward, what kind of momentum does that have to, what does he have to be feeling? And I'm looking forward to just being able to pick his brain a little bit and interview him. What a win.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, you had three mics up there, Dawson, in the top 5. Michael Menchaca in 3rd, Michael Clay in 4th, Mike Davenport in 5th. Man, maybe I should have joined this race tonight because there was a heck of a lot of mics up there, and it would have been nice to be up there in the top 5 with those guys.
Oh, absolutely. And this one did not disappoint. We're going to try to get your top 3 for interviews. We're waiting on Michael Menchaca. We're going to give him a second. Before that, we're going to go through your finishing results first. Give him a minute. Stick around, though. You're going to want to hear from David Sheets and Ron Morris and Michael Menchaca after this race, so stick around. We'll give you your finishing results, and hopefully by then we'll be able to get a word from our top 3 here just briefly. But we'll go through your results first. What a race it was here tonight to start the season. This was race 1, and that's pretty unbelievable. But David Sheets comes away with the victory tonight. What a huge win it is for him and McCullough Motorsports. Ron Morris solidifies a 1-2 finish for that team. And Michael Menchaca rounding out your podium finishers tonight. Michael Clay finishes in 4th position. Mike Davenport in 5th. Danny Barnes in 6th. Trevor Osmernoth in 7th. Josh McCullough 8th. Austin Green in 9th. And Aiden Kirk rounds out the top 10.
In 11th, man, Josh McCullough put together a very good finish to that race, and unfortunately, the finish doesn't exactly speak for what he should have got, but nonetheless, very good race for Josh McCullough. Heath Job in 12th, Aiden Kirk 13th, Michaela Steffes in 14th, Dustin Carruthers in 15th, Zach Range in 16th, Thomas Parker in 17th, Nicholas Warner in 18th, 19th is Justin Mills, and 20th is Ryan Baste.
And 21st is Mark Vondell. 22nd is Cole Fitzpatrick. 23rd, Bobby Forbes. 24th, Joshua Holmes. 25th, John Darnell. 26th, Richard Elliott. 27th, Tim White. 28th, Adam Ford. 29th, Kenny Stamper. And that should round out your field there tonight.
Yeah, William Fox did not time a lap tonight. He did not make the field. So, with all that said, hope you've stuck around. Glad to have a really great audience with us tonight to witness what was an incredible race. And we are going to get started with your post-race interviews. And we're going to start with the man who finished in 3rd tonight. And I'll grab and bring him up here. But, Mike T., how about you take this one?
I will. Michael Menchaca, man, you got to explain to us coming to the line there. You were pushing hard. It looked like we were going to just have a drag race to the line. Can you kind of tell us what happened there at the end of the race, and how excited are you to finish in the top 3 here tonight?
Man, I am pumped. Not gonna lie, that was freaking awesome. It was a great race, the whole race, running up front with all these guys. At the end, I really just wanted to push Trevor in front of me. He was running pretty fast and pretty smooth, and I was just trying to stay on his rear and just get to the finish, hopefully in the top 3. And I don't know if I just got a little bit off of him or if he got into the side of the guy next to him. But man, I feel kind of bad about that if I caused it. But I mean, it was just a great race all around. I mean, racing with these guys, I've been doing it for a while, and man, it's about time I got a podium.
Congratulations, boss. You deserved it. It looked like a little net code there, so nothing on your part. Anyone you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of buddies out there. I mean, like Kenneth Gallman, he's helped me a lot. Jason Maines has actually gave me some really good advice and helped me out. And just all these guys, all these people I've been racing with. I mean, getting in these races with these guys and KSR, they put on some good races, and of course Dega Pros. But all of them really, it's been a good experience, and I just enjoy racing with everybody. It's always really good competition.
Awesome, man. Well, you go have yourself a nice cold beer and enjoy your night, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
That is your third place finisher, Mr. Michael Menchaca. We're going to move to the second step of the podium here tonight. The man who finished second for McCullough Motorsports, Mr. Ron Morris. And Cody, I believe you caught up with our second place finisher.
Ron Morris, do you have a copy, sir?
Hey, I got a copy.
Man, what a finish. Take us through it. How'd you guys do it?
Oh man, we had a little bit of luck tonight, and y'all know me. I don't get very much luck. I was just fortunate tonight. I think I missed more wrecks tonight than I probably missed all year. They were all around me, but didn't get in any of them. And then Trevor took the outside and lined me, Josh, and David up. 1, 2, 3 on the inside line, and we were just pushing hard as we could. Unfortunate that Josh got turned, but hey, well, I'll take it. I'll take a second. I'm locked in.
Well, I definitely don't think second place is too bad of a finish. And I'm looking over here on YouTube, and I see Kenny McCullough out here, Robert Miller. You guys got a lot of fans out there. What's it going to take next week or just at any point this season? Are we going to see the 76 in Victory Lane?
I hope so, man. That's the goal, man. It's been a long time. I've been there before, but it's been a while. So, yeah, I hope so.
Well, I have to say,
try my
Ron,
best.
You are one of the best ambassadors, I think, for not only iRacing but the money racing scene. Just the overall dedication that you do for the drivers, and I personally want to thank you for everything you do. So I look forward to seeing you potentially in Victory Lane because in the weeks coming, if you run anything like you did tonight, I'm definitely gonna predict that we're gonna see Ron Morris in Victory Lane very, very soon. But before we let you go, do you have any final thanks, thoughts, or shout-outs you want to give?
Man, Team McCullough, Ron Morris Racing. You guys check us out on Tuesday nights and Sunday nights, and some big stuff going on. Check out the Discord. That's it, man. Appreciate everybody out there watching. Appreciate you guys for broadcasting, man. I enjoy being able to go back and look at these at lunch break. So I appreciate it.
Well, absolutely, and thank you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
You too.
And that is our second place finisher, Ron Morris. And that leads us to the man I think we all probably want to hear from the most, and that is our winner tonight, Mr. David Sheets. Hey, David, it's the boys up in the booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I mean, I think we all kind of want to know, what is your perspective of that last lap? Because that was straight up nuts. You end up coming away with a victory sideways across the line, but you're in Victory Lane. Take us through it.
Yeah, sometimes you better be lucky than good. I was content just pushing Josh to the win. I really hate to see him get wrecked out like that. He deserved that win. But I was trying to get him to win, get in the third, get that knocked out so we move on to the big show. But pretty wild last lap, but glad to come out of with the win.
Well, absolutely, and we saw you guys run strong all night long. McCullough Motorsports, a statement tonight, running well all night long. One of the strongest teams on the racetrack, probably the strongest team tonight to start off the season. So, what does that do for you guys as a team going forward? Two of you guys are locked in, but obviously I got to imagine you guys are going to be hungry for more. What are we going to see out of McCullough Motorsports the next several weeks?
Yeah, just go win hunting. Try to get Josh and Mark both in the top three so they can get in the race. Get Austin in there as well. But just go after wins now. Try to have some fun.
Well, absolutely, and that's what you guys did tonight. You come home with a victory. We've got you here for a second. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, definitely got to thank all my teammates of McCullough Motorsports, sponsors, Transmedics, LNS Customs. I appreciate y'all broadcasting and John for putting this race on.
All right, well, congratulations on that huge win. We'll let you go celebrate with your teammates. What a huge moment for you guys. You're locked in. You're in Victory Lane here on the first night of the Little Guys Series. Congrats, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, bud.
As David Sheets, our winner tonight from Talladega Super Speedway. So that's going to all but wrap it up for us. So we'll take an extra second here. A lot to unpack. but certainly an incredible night of racing. We'll start with Mike. Mike, it was your first night up here in the booth, and you were treated to a great show by these guys. What'd you think of the race tonight?
It was awesome, man. Thank you guys for having me up here. Hopefully we could do it again. I was kind of just joking around with the guys over here in the Discord. Told everyone you and Dawson, or you and Cody, are world class up here. Just feel honored to share this booth with you guys. Hopefully I can stick around, help you guys out. I'd like to, try to provide a different perspective. These viewers don't usually get to truly get to know some of the drivers in the field. So if I have some time here, I could get to know a lot more of these guys myself, and bring a little different dimension to these broadcasts than we normally have. So that was cool for me. The racing was amazing. What a great finish. Shout out to David Sheets, Ron Morris Jr. Just a great race, and just looking, I'm really looking for a lot of these new drivers, newer names, to come up to run RMR, to run PGR, and just continue getting better, and the money scene will be in a good place. So thank you guys for having me. Turn it back over to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was great to have you up here. It was great to have that perspective. I learned some stuff tonight about guys that I would like to learn more about other guys. That would be a really cool thing for me. Obviously, these guys are getting spotlight, so it certainly would be good to know some more about these guys, get to know the ins and outs of what they do, why they do it, why they're here, what drives them. That was certainly a great perspective to have. Cody, moving on to you. We've seen this before, but man, it seemed like these guys upped the ante tonight. The second season starting off with a bang here tonight.
And it certainly did, and I'm going to piggyback just off a couple of things that Mike T was saying about, he's not really the broadcaster type, he just jumps in here in the booth and has fun calling it. And I have to say, really the same goes for me. I mean, all three of us, we're just drivers, and I feel like you're also a world-class broadcaster, man. You do a fantastic job, and you make it really easy for guys like me and Mike T to be able to come in here. But it's just a different perspective. I normally, I'm out there driving most of the time, so it's a complete change of gears for me to come out here and try to call the race with you. I just hope that maybe I can give a little bit of race knowledge, and at the same time, I'm really just using this time to learn some of the drivers that's in the field, and learning some of the other teams that I'm going to be potentially racing against on other nights of the week, and potentially, if I'm up front, some of these guys, they're gonna be fighting, especially if they keep putting in the work that they do. They're gonna be up front. They're gonna be contending for wins, and I want to soak it in like a sponge, see who I can push, who I can potentially work well with on the track. And man, so far, one race into season 2 of the Little Guys series, and I don't know, I'm getting a little bit fired up. That finish was fantastic.
I'm also very fired up and certainly excited to see where this series goes. And I mean, the racing speaks for itself. There's not much I can add to that. What a race. We expected it to be good. Man, I could not have expected that, and it gets me so excited for what is to come from here on out. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm glad everybody showed up. I know it's late. It's 12:20 on the East Coast, and we still had a really great audience tonight. Come back next week. If you're around, come back. Watch these guys again. It's going to be the same time next week, a little after 11 o'clock. Come back and watch these guys race again, because I promise you, you're not going to want to miss it. It's been great so far. It's going to continue to be great. It's going to continue to get better as we go. David Sheets wins tonight. Ron Morris and Michael Menchaca locked into that final race at the end of the season. That's going to do it for us. For my two broadcast partners tonight, Cody Nagels and Michael Triscaro, my name's Dawson Wise. You've been watching the Hickory Racing